Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So I just got to finish listening to Kanye West's song, and I'm gonna do my best to be as pragmatic and leave my emotions out of this video. I think he's trolling us. I think he's forcing us to think. I'll be honest. I remember when I was a school teacher, and a kid used to ask me why we got to learn this. Sometimes not really. I sometimes didn't have an answer. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because the school district wanted me to teach you this. I haven't did a calculus equation in years. Oh man. But he might be trolling us. He might be forcing us to think. He wants to evoke thoughts which will inspire an action. I genuinely believe. Uh, uh, a lot of us, me included, we have a tendency to fall into autopilot. And I genuinely believe that Kanye West is trying to wake us up to some degree. I think he wants the greater good. And I think he's able to, I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not talking about his destination or his mindset. But I know one of his principles in doing this is to have us begin to think about us, our systems, and how we go about life and our mindset as it relates to America, Democrat, Republican, on down. And I think we need to start having these honest conversations. Do the Democrats really represent us? Do the Republicans really represent us? Do the Green Party, the Independents? You understand what I'm saying? Do our local politicians really represent us? Does our school system really teach our kids to have a great mindset and be entrepreneurs? I'm not sure if I would do it the same way he did, but I think it's awfully courageous of him to do what he's doing as a black man. When his core audience are the people who grew up like him, as he speaks about in his songs. I think Kanye he's arguably the most influential artist we have out today in terms of hip hop, because he moves the meter to such an extreme in either direction. He forces you to have an opinion. Let's just say top 5. I don't feel like debating it. But begin to think. I don't agree with everything Kanye West is doing. I like the idea of him questioning our thought process. I like the idea of pulling out the good, pulling out the bad, and creating our own thought patterns. You understand what I'm saying? Like for example, I love the tax breaks that I'm getting this year. I absolutely love the tax breaks. But I voted for my people. For people that I grew up with. I made a community vote. I didn't vote Republican. I have voted Republican before in certain instances, but at the end of the day, when I drive down Florence, when I drive down Hoover, I'm like, damn, man, we got to find a way. But when I drive down that street in 1995, when I drive down that street in 2000, 2005, 2010, 2015, and now 2018, and it's still graffiti, it's still run down, it's still minimum code enforcement, we got to ask ourselves, is the Democratic Party the right answer? Are our local politicians the right answer? Are our Republicans the right answer? When actuality is not. We own the power. We have to begin to trust our neighbors. Just think for a second. Think about the chain link concept, where I spoke to my neighbor on my left, neighbor on my right, and you hold them obligated to speak to the neighbor on their left or on their right. And that's how it went down. Imagine that. Imagine if every neighborhood, every block had $100 dues. Imagine if every block in America, each family that lived on that block had to pay $100. Right? And that $100 went towards the graffiti, went towards public safety, went towards the annual block party or semi-annual block party. You understand what I'm saying? Imagine that. people will complain about, but they get hit and taxed all the time. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he's creating an action. I genuinely believe he's trolling us to a certain degree. Do I agree with him? Not so much. I would never, ever, never, ever in a million years, support Donald Trump. Like I just couldn't do it. You know, um, if I had to, if I had to give up myself to save Harlem, to save South Central, I would. You understand what I'm saying? And the question is Kanye West doing that? But only under the pretense. But Donald Trump is such an asshole, so arrogant. It's no way, like how we use Kanye West and Steve Harvey and Jim Brown for photo ops, and he manipulated and massaged their ego and convinced them that he was doing it for the betterment of America, and he actually wasn't. Um, I think Kanye West is trolling us. I genuinely believe. I think he's trolling us. Um, I think we should, if you haven't been to a mosque, if you haven't listened to the Nation of Islam, if you haven't been, I suggest that you go, man, and just listen. They have a great pulse of our community. And more importantly, the people in that mosque is a representation of our community. Like, come as you are. You understand what I'm saying? Be who you are. But we're just going to cut off all the split ends, and we're going to get you back to your natural self. And that's loving yourself, which in turn loving your family and supporting and serving your community. They do a great job, man. Like in LA, I know, like I remember growing up in South Central. Anytime someone got killed, we always saw Minister Tony, Minister Muhammad. We always saw them speaking out. Their picture on the front page of the LA Sentinel newspaper, The Wave. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we got to get back to community involvement. And, community involvement is not necessarily starting a nonprofit. Community involvement is that young kid you see every day. You understand? Communicating with your neighbor. That's community involvement. Supporting local businesses. You understand? And, but these are just my thoughts. Man, Kanye West is in a tough spot because I believe he's trolling us, but I want to see the outcome of this. Because he has everyone. I see the memes, and I don't know if you guys put in the comment section and let me know how you feel. I know he's come from a dark place, but when you think about this, when you go from losing your mom, moreover than that, when you have to take responsibility for losing your mom, because to my knowledge, she was having some type of plastic surgery I apologize, some form of cosmetic surgery, which in reality you paid for through the success of your career, which in turn made your mother successful in having the ability to afford a cosmetic surgery. You understand what I'm saying? And then double down that with falling in love with a woman in the Kardashian family. Man, imagine how long it takes for you to get out of a situation like that, emotionally, spiritually. You understand? So these are just my thoughts. So I'm anxious to see when his album comes out. I'm anxious to see will he say, "Gotcha, bitch." Where's that from? Where's that from? Gotcha, bitch. I'm waiting on that moment. I forget what sitcom that is or TV show. Is that Dave Chappelle? I remember saying that shit all the time. Gotcha, bitch. Anyways, man, we'll sit back and watch what happens and see what happens to Ye. And I don't know. I honestly don't know, but he may be trolling us. Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button, and we'll be back on our boxing shit all day today. I'll holla. Peace.